Hello everyone, my name is NewFlowerGirl, but you can call me Demi, and today, as you can see, I am here at my bamboo forest, and that is because I am adding someone to it. So I have already typed it in, because it's kind of boring to see me type, but there's some things changed over the past few days that I've done in the bamboo forest, and that is, I only just realized that I had to do the Christmas countdown quiz, and I am the one. He was the only one to apply for it and say I want to join. So therefore, he is now officially in my bamboo forest, and this person I'm gonna add as well. And the reason why I'm also gonna say, but the person I'm adding is Pool Fan. She's a person in my Discord, and it's really nice. So therefore, I'm adding Pool Fan for being a nice person who leaves nice comments, and I can always talk to Pool Fan when I need to. Yeah, I don't know if you're a boy or a girl. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for being such a nice person, not just to me, but also to like the mods and all the other people in my Discord. And therefore, I want to say thank you. But without further ado, let's go to the podcast, because that's why you guys are here. Of course, Poolfan is here because of the bamboo forest. I told Poolfan that I had a surprise. And this was the surprise, so I hope you are surprised by it. But yeah, we'll now go to, to the podcast. So we are now about to learn more about Pierre Gasly, and I found this amazing photo from him after his victory at Monza, which was stunning. And we'll be talking about that victory later on into today's video. But we are here to learn about Pierre Gasly, and he is born on February the 7th of 1996, and he's a French racing driver currently competing in Formula 1 under the French flag, racing for Scuderia AlphaTauri. He's the 2016 GP2 Series champion and the runner-up in the 2014 Formula Renault 3.5 Series and the 2017 Super Formula champion. He made his Formula 1 debut with Toro Rosso at the 2017 Malaysian Grand Prix. He moved to Red Bull Racing in 2019 before moving back after trading with Alexander Albon from Toro Rosso between the Hungarian and Belgian rounds to partner Daniel Kvyat. Gasly took his maiden Formula 1 victory at the 2020 Italian Grand Prix while driving for AlphaTauri, previously renamed Toro Rosso. Born in Rhône, France, to father Jean-Jacques Gasly and mother Pascal, Gasly's family has long been involved in motorsports. His grandfather competed in karting, and his father has also competed in various categories of racing, including karting, endurance racing and rallying. Gasly is the youngest alongside his 4 half-brothers, 2 maternal from his mother's previous marriage, Nicholas Caron and Cyril Caron, as well as 2 paternal from his father's previous marriage, Felipe Gasly and Paul Gasly. At the age of 6, Gasly first experienced karting at a local karting track in, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Anneville and Boisville. It wasn't that hard. Gasly grew up alongside the late Antoine Hubert, karting with him since the age of 7, being educated at the same private school and having resided together as roommates for several years. And we all know what happened to Antoine So unfortunate. Gasly entered competitive karting in 2006 at the age of 10, when he finished 15th in the French Minim Championship before he finished 4th in the following year. In 2008, he stepped up to the French Cadet Championship before moving to the international scene in 2009. He moved to the KF3 category, staying until the end of 2010, when he finished as runner-up in the CIK FIA European Championship. So now we're going to move on to more of, more of the recent parts. This is all like in 10 years time, 10 years ago, and I'm eating my cookies, which I hadn't eaten at my internship. I like chocolate chip cookies. They're really delicious. Oh, now I've got something in my mouth. Now I can't talk. We're going to move on to Formula Renault now. In 2011, Gasly made his debut in single-seaters, taking part in the French F4 Championship 1.6 litre category. He finished third behind his future Eurocup rivals Mathieu Vaxivière and Andrea Pizzitola, with 7 podiums, including wins at Spa, Albi and Le Castellet. Le Castellet is basically, I think, the circuit they race on in Formula 1 as well. I think so. Yeah, it is. I haven't just looked it up. It's really from my mind, from playing F1 games. Gasly moved to the 2-litre Formula Renault machinery in 2012, joining RA's GP in the Formula Renault Eurocup. He finished 10th with 6 point scoring finishes, including podiums at Spa and Nürburgring. He also had 7 starts in the Formula Renault 2.0 Northern European Cup, with the same team taking a podium at the Nürburgring. For 2013, Gasly moved to the Tech 1 Racing. He took 5 podiums as well as victories at Moscow, the Hungaroring and Le Castellet. He held an 11-point lead over Oliver Rowland into the final meeting at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, and ultimately clinched the title with a 3rd and 6th place finishes. The latter results coming after a collision with Rowland, who received a drive-through penalty as a result. Now in Formula 1, you basically don't drive into your rivals. We've seen it with title deciders for between Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve. You basically heard over the broadcast, "You hit the wrong part of him, my friend." Basically, that's what the commentator said. "That didn't work, Michael. You hit the wrong part of him, my friend." From what I know, from my time, we've seen it. In 2019, where Gasly scored his maiden podium, in Sao Paulo, Hamilton received a penalty for hitting Alexander Albon off track, spinning him around. And then we also saw it a year later as the season opener at the Red Bull Ring. The same people, the same person spun around, the same person got a penalty, the same amount. And in both cases it cost a McLaren to get onto the podium. Right, that's insane, right? But anyway, let's carry on, because I'm way into this. The driver jumped to Formula Renault 3.5 Series in 2014, where he was hired by Arden under the Red Bull Junior Team Development Program. He finished the season as runner-up to another Red Bull Junior, Carlos Sainz. Not Carlos Sainz Sr., but Carlos Sainz, who's now racing for Ferrari, who's not doing bad. Ferrari isn't a shit car anymore. I said a swear word, but I have said to myself, I can say shit, and you can't stop me. Collecting 8 podiums in the 17 races. Now we're going to move on to the GP2, which is now, of course, Formula 2. Gasly made his GP2 Series debut, or Formula 2 Series debut, in 2014 at Monza Circuit in support of Italian Grand Prix, replacing Caterham racing driver Tom Dillman, who had commitments at other racing series and was unable to participate in the GP2 or Formula 2 series races for that weekend. He then partook in post-season testing, driving for Dams, and signed with the French team to race alongside the British driver Alex Lynn, development driver of Williams F1 team. Though taking 3 pole positions and 4 podiums, Gasly experienced an uneven season, including collisions in Bahrain, Spa and Yas Marina, which got the subsequent race cancelled, which saw him finish 8th, 2 places behind teammate Lynn. Gasly would switch to newcomers Prema Power Team alongside the 2015 European Formula 3 runner-up and GP2 Formula 2 rookie Antonio Giovinazzi for 2016. If you have seen photos of Antonio Giovinazzi, I say he looks like Jesus. He really does. And he has nicknamed himself the Italian Jesus, so I'm not wrong. I mean, he does look like that. So, if you don't know how Antonio Giovinazzi looks, just Google him. But make sure you get a picture without the face mask, because then you really see the Jesus vibes. Yeah. Gasly would go on to become the GP2 or Formula 2 Series champion at that season. Japanese Super Formula. Gasly joined Team Mugen to drive a Red Bull sponsored Honda at the 2017 Super Formula Championship, winning 2 races. In the Formula E, Gasly made a one-off Formula E appearance for Renault E.Dams, where he replaced Sebastian Buemi for the 2017 New York E-Prix, due to the latter commitments to the World Endurance Championship. In the weekend's first race, Gasly recovered from a poor qualifying performance of 19th to finish 7th in his debut race. Gasly nearly finished on the podium in the second race, hitting the wall on the exit of the final corner while battling for 3rd and limping across the finish line with major damage in 4th. And then finally to Formula 1. In September 2015, Gasly was signed as a reserve driver for Red Bull Racing. Gasly made his Formula 1 race debut at the Malaysian Grand Prix with Scuderia Toro Rosso, replacing Janek Kvyat for a number of races. He finished the Malaysian Grand Prix and the Japanese Grand Prix outside the points. Gasly was expected to take Carlos Sainz's seat at Austin, but he was forced to miss the race due to a clash with the final round of the 2017 Super Formula Championship. He returned to the team for Mexico, partnering with New Zealander Brendan Hartley, after the team decided to drop Janek Kvyat from the Red Bull program. Gasly and Hartley became full-time Toro Rosso drivers for the 2018 season, In the Bahrain Grand Prix, Gasly qualified 6th, but promoted to 5th after Lewis Hamilton's penalty. Another penalty. How many does he have? How many penalties did Hamilton get in his entire Formula One, in his entire Formula One career? Someone let me know in the comments. How many penalties does Hamilton have from the moment he started to now, to today, basically to Bahrain 2021. He eventually finished the race in 4th place, earning his first points finish in Formula 1. A week later in China, he crashed into teammate Brandon Hartley in what the two confessed as being a miscommunication. Gasly recorded 4 more point finishes during the season, including a 7th place finish in Monaco and a 6th place finish in Hungary. He ended the season in 15th place in the championship with 26 points, comfortably ahead of teammate Hartley. And now we're going to move on to some of the darker years for Gasly. Something I would say, because he got promoted to Red Bull. I'm going to say it in short. He got promoted to Red Bull, then his best friend died in a horrifying crash, and in the same time he got demoted to Toro Rosso. But all of that one was made up by his by his first ever podium. Gasly was contracted to drive for Red Bull for the 2019 season, partnering Max Verstappen following the departure of Daniel Ricciardo to Renault. Gasly struggles with the RB15, being consistently off teammate Verstappen's pace, and even getting lapped by him in several races. He only outqualified Verstappen on one occasion in Canada, when Verstappen was hampered by a red flag. In both China and Mexico, Gasly recorded the fastest lap of the race. His best result of the season whilst racing for Red Bull came at the British Grand Prix, finishing 4th after Verstappen and Vettel were in front finishing 4th after Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel in front were involved in a collision. This was arguably the only race where he was able to battle with the frontrunners. Gasly came under increasing pressure at the Hungarian Grand Prix, after being lapped by Verstappen during the race, in which he could have assisted Verstappen from being passed by Lewis Hamilton for the race win, had he been close enough behind. Despite Gasly's poor form, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner claimed that it was the team's intention to keep Gasly until the end of the season. In the summer break, Gasly was in 6th place of the championship with 63 points, just 5 points clear of Carlos Sainz Jr. in the inferior McLaren. Teammate Verstappen, meanwhile, had recorded 181 points, 2 race wins, 5 podium finishes and 1 pole position. The return to Toro Rosso. After the ahead of the 2019 Belgium Grand Prix, Gasly was demoted back to junior team Toro Rosso, with Alexander Albon taking his place. The change came after Albon's strong performance in the Toro Rosso STR14 throughout the first half of the season, with a best finish of 6th at the rain-affected German Grand Prix. To be honest, a lot of people crashed there. Vettel, Sainz, Leclerc, Hamilton, Bottas. Hulkenberg, Ricciardo retired. So basically, from what I've seen from Drive to Survive, there had been 7 people out of the race. I will look it up and put it like on screen, like how many people were out of the race and who were out of the race in the 2019 Belgium Grand Prix. Upon the shock mid-season announcement that the team at Red Bull said in a press release, the team will use the next 9 races to evaluate Alex's performance in order to make an informed decision as to who will drive alongside Max in 2020. On the dropping of Gasly, Christian Horner said, "Pierre really needs to take some time out during the break, reflect and take the lessons into the second part of the year. We desperately need him realizing more of the potential of the car." Apparently someone didn't know I was recording. I did say to that person, like, I'm gonna record a video, and then all of a sudden they came upstairs and said, "Demi, I've got something!" So I had to stop, I cut a bit off, so if you hear like something weird, that's why. But let's carry on. During the remainder of the season at Toro Rosso, partnering Dano Fiat, Gasly achieved 5 points finishes, including a 9th place at his first race back at the team in Belgium. His best performance came at the chaotic Brazilian Grand Prix. Gasly qualified 7th place and took advantage of retirements from Valtteri Bottas and both Ferrari drivers, as well as the collision between Lewis Hamilton and Alex Albon, to finish the race in 2nd place after holding off Hamilton in a straight drag to the finish line. This marked the first podium finish of Gasly's Formula 1 career, Toro Rosso's best result since the 2008 Italian Grand Prix and Honda's first 1-2 finish since the 1991 Japanese Grand Prix. On his cooldown lap, Gasly remarked over the radio, "This is the best day of my life." He finished the season in 7th place in the championship with 95 points. Now we're going to move on to this year, kinda. Last year. AlphaTauri. 2022 till, I don't know, till forever. So until he decides to stop with AlphaTauri. Gasly was retained by the team along with Fiat as they rebranched to Scuderia AlphaTauri. Gasly managed 4 top 10 finishes across the first 7 races of the season, with a best result of 7th in Austria and Silverstone. At the 2020 Italian Grand Prix, an early pit stop allowed Gasly to pass several drivers who had to wait for the pit lane to be open during a safety car procedure. That was after Leclerc crashed severely, and go up to a net 3rd place. As race leader, Hamilton boxed to serve a stop-go penalty, and 2nd place driver Stroll went wide at the Roya chicane. Gasly inherited the lead of the race and managed to hold off the late charging Carlos Sainz to take his first win in Formula 1. So that is it, for as far as I can see. Let me go to my source real quick, if it wants to load. There are some other things. Becoming the 109th different race winner in F1 and the first French driver to win a Grand Prix since Oliver Panis' victory at the 96 Monaco Grand Prix 24 years prior. This prompted speculation that Gasly could return to Red Bull, and Gasly himself said that he was ready to do so. AlphaTauri principal Franz Tost praised Gasly's race, but dismissed the possibility of Gasly returning to Red Bull soon. He finished the 2020 season in 10th place with 75 points. Gasly is due to remain with AlphaTauri for 2021, partnered by Yuki Tsunoda. And Yuki Tsunoda is also a strong driver. He passed the two elder guys. I've seen it live. Yuki Tsunoda passed the two elder guys, aka Fernando Alonso and Kimi Raikkonen, amazingly, with late braking into turn 1. And you have to be super brave to brake that late. I mean, there are only a few drivers that are capable to brake that late, and one of them is Daniel Ricciardo. He's like one of the latest brakers in the entire field. You need to have big cojones, as Carlos Sainz puts that. You need to have big cojones to brake super late into turn 1. But yeah, that's it for today's podcast. I can already say what the next podcast is going to be. It is a podcast about Lando Norris. I basically went into Discord and asked, I'm going to make a podcast, what is it going to be about? Most of them said Pierre Gasly. And then I said, I'm going to do today Pierre Gasly, and the next podcast will be Lando Norris. But yeah, there are a few things that I'm going to explain, and therefore I need my phone again. Because if you were watching my stream last week, you would have known that I have made some predictions for the MotoGP, Moto3 and Moto2. And the twist to it is that I have to do something when I get it correct, because that's fun. So with the Moto3, I'm just going to say what I predicted and then what I put after it. So prediction, task, and that 9 times. Because there are 3 classes and I put 3 predictions for every single one of them. So with the Moto3, my number 1 was opening lap crash with 3 drivers involved. And if I get it correct, I have to stream live on Twitch a bit of Nusha's training, because I'm training with Nusha, because she's still buying me. It's going better, I have to say. But yeah, I still have to do it, and it might be fun, you know, you guys can learn from it if you have a puppy as well. You can train along with me, which is fun. So the second one is Masia Victory. So Jaume Macias, a Moto3 driver, remains there. He's Spanish. So I thought singing a Spanish song. And I have a brilliant idea on how to do it. I basically need to find out the pronunciation of all the words, and then I can sing it. It's so easy then. Also, this happened in 2019. They're in the desert and it started to rain. So I think it might rain again, because we're in a weird world where everything can happen. And if it does rain during the Moto3 or before the Moto3, anything before the Moto3, so basically during one of the practice or before the practice starts, or before even the race weekend has started, and they've said like, oh, it has rained, then I have to bake a cookie with every type of dried doughs I can find. And I've seen some other YouTubers do it. I've seen Lauren Seaside do it, not just with cookies but also with cakes. So, and I was like, yeah, I'm totally gonna do that one day. So yeah, why not if I get this correct? And then we're gonna move on to the Moto2. So there I have Boban Schneider, my Dutch hero, will have a top 8 finish. And it's basically his goal to finish top 8. And if I get that correct, if he does finish that, I have to do a last to finish challenge on the F1 game. And I will make a video of that. I'm gonna contact the person who said it, like what are the things like the regulations for it. For example, is the 50% race, 25% race, 100% race? So yeah, I'm gonna find out exactly what I have to do for it. But yeah, we also have Sam Lewis will win, and if he does win, Sam Lewis is a strong guy, he's a fast guy, brother of Alex Lewis, who races in a different class. If Sam Lewis wins, I will show the entirety of the house, but not the attic, in a vlog. I won't show the attic, won't show the basement, just this floor and the second floor. Well, the floor where I'm on, my bedroom and stuff, bedrooms and the bottom floor. I will show those. If there are in total 4 crashes that occur during the Moto2 race, not the entirety of the season, because that will be, then I could have done 40. But if there are 4 crashes during the race, I will write my own song. And I'm very terrible at writing songs, I can only write stories. But yeah, the MotoGP. If Fabio Quartararo, my French hero, wins, I will sing a French song, same way in the Dutch, in the Spanish. If there is an animal track, because we've seen that in the Formula 1 quite often, I will do 10 push-ups, and I'm awful at push-ups. And if there are a total of 3 or more crashes during the race, I will bake a cake with every type of dry dough I can find. So basically the powdered dough. And basically the race today, it is actually quali. So tomorrow you will see in your notifications, if you are following me on Twitch, you will see in your notifications that I am live. And if I got some of them correct, I will do them. And I will list them all off. I will basically, put like a marker, like, I will put an X when I get them correct. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. I was free yesterday, because of Easter. Because this weekend it is Easter, finally. Easter, and it's April, which means that on the 18th there is another Formula 1 Grand Prix, and I'm excited for it because it's Imola. But that does mean that Max Verstappen might not finish, because there's a curse in Italy where Max Verstappen will not finish. It was like that in 2020. I'm not sure if that is it. If it is like that in 2021, because in 2020, let's take you through the entire list of Max Verstappen. In 2020, at Monza, where Gasly won, Max Verstappen had engine failures. His engine didn't explode, but it just retired. He's like, it doesn't feel good, I'm pitting, I'm stopping. And yeah, that was his first retirement in Italy that year. The second one was a bit more horrible to see. It wasn't in that horrifying restart, but everything in 2020 was horrifying, except for the win. That was terrific and amazing. But basically, Gasly was also involved in that. Verstappen got knocked out of a lap 1 turn 3 crash, which also involved Kimi Raikkonen and Romain Grosjean. And then in Imola, Verstappen also crashed, not with someone else, not because he had oversteered or he understeered, but because his tire blew up. His tire blew up. And he was on his way to win. And it brought out a late safety car. But let's hope that the curse has been lifted. Maybe it had to be that Verstappen had to not finish in Italy the entire season to break the curse. I mean, there's also another curse in Imola, in Formula 1 language, where Finns don't finish. Mika Häkkinen, Valtteri Bottas, Kimi Raikkonen, they all didn't finish. They all didn't win. They were on the route to victory, and they lost it. They just lost it. It's like God threw a stone at it and was like, you are not finishing. You are grounded. But yeah, that is it for today's podcast. It's been more of a rambling podcast. But I hope you guys have learned more about Pierre Gasly. I certainly have. And these things are good for me as well, because then I get to know the driver as well. Then when I'm meeting them, all of a sudden, like I'm standing in front of them, I'm going to be like, oh, what you did there in GP2 was amazing, even though I didn't watch it. But they don't know. They won't know. But yeah, that's it for today's podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please hit a big fat thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, then please do, because I really want to dye my hair. I haven't got to dye yet. We are 12 subscribers away from it. And please share it with your friends, with your family, with your brother, sister, even though they're family. But please share it, because I want to do it. And I think you guys want to see me do it as well. I've seen those messages like, oh my god, I can't wait till you're doing it. So yeah, please like and subscribe and comment down below what was the most surprising part, or what you have learned about Pierre Gasly, or something you didn't know about him, or something that you know about him but wasn't in here. You can just tell me and surprise me. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I'm gonna go and do some other stuff, train with my dog, and watch watch the qualifying of MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3, whatever is on right now. But yeah, I will see you guys probably Monday. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I will see you guys on Thursday again. Either way, there will be a video after this one. But yeah, bye!